The inability to readily access an affordable public secondary education is a sign of inequality in the city. As Melbourne changes and grows, forces of gentrification and urban renewal are causing a demographic shift. Families are increasingly choosing to live in former working-class inner-city suburbs. Many primary schools are now overcrowded and portable classrooms occupy play space. This hints at a future crisis. The students of these schools will one day go on to secondary school, but education infrastructure can't keep up. Some families are lucky enough to live in suburbs with a wide range of school. However, many others live in areas which offer them no choice at all. This is Billy. He's 11, lives in Kingsville and goes to Kingsville Primary. He loves walking to school, but unfortunately, he might not be able to do this next year. The closest secondary school is Bayside College, which is 7 kilometres away. It takes an hour, 2 buses and a train to get there. He worries this commute will impact his health, learning and social development, especially as local schools act as hubs for community activity and foster social capital. He's also worried about losing his social connections. His friends will be going to more than a dozen different secondary schools. The growing population will also place further pressure on schools, and by the time his 4-year-old sister gets to year 7, she might not have a place at Bayside or anywhere else local unless a new school is built. So why aren't there more schools? Well, in short, funding, inadequate planning and resource allocation have failed to take demographic shifts and population changes into account. Many public secondary schools were closed under the Kennett government in the 90s as inner-city land increased in value, especially given Melbourne's emerging identity as a modern, commercial and competitive city. This oversight also emerges from the assumption that the inner city is unlivable for families. So, a coordinated effort is needed amongst government departments in order to establish public schools in growing areas like Yarraville and Dockland. This brings us to the current issue. Remaining public secondary schools are small in number but bursting at their seams. Additional pressure is being placed on schools from Northcote to Brunswick and Footscray. Students and their families are all vulnerable to forces of urban growth and inadequate infrastructure provision. Without planning, children may lose the opportunity to attend an accessible and affordable school.